to the Art of Relationship show. This is show 5 out of 5 of the Art of Relationships marathon. Going to be talking about relationship frustration and frustrated relationship help. And I'm going to give you some tips and go over maybe 4, maybe 5 things that I tend to run into on a daily basis in my office helping couples. So I appreciate you tuning in. And again, special thanks for sponsoring the show through this marathon week. realizefantasy.com/Greg. So check them out. I'll get into that a little bit later. So don't go anywhere, where I'm going to help you with those frustrated issues you have in your relationship. So don't go anywhere, people. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Art of Relationship show. I'm still fighting a wicked upper respiratory sinus infection, cold, whatever the hell it is. So my voice is going to crack now and then. I'm going to sound nasally, maybe a little more sexier than normal. But anyways, talking about frustrated relationship stuff. And I'm going to talk about dynamics that usually cause these issues, right? And most of what I deal with is, let's face it, when one partner cheats, the other one cheats, or both cheats, I deal with that mostly on a daily basis. And looking at what creates that scenario where one would want to cheat, I never promote or condone that. And I mention that on every episode, every Facebook post when I talk about cheating. But I want to look at the dynamics which leads to this situation. Hey, Anna, I appreciate you joining in. And as always, you can join in, join the comments, throw your comments, your questions, your insights down below. I'd love to be able to help in any questions you have. I'll do the best I can help. As maybe most people don't know, my name is Greg Dudzinski. I'm a fully licensed professional counselor, relationship and sex specialist. Have been doing this in Metro Detroit, for over 20 years, over 2 decades now. And my passion has always will be to help people heal broken hearts and have connected relationships more deeply than they ever thought possible on a mind, body, heart, and soul element. Okay. So talking about relationship frustrations, usually what creates these are criticisms, belittling. Let's be honest. How many people rip apart your partner? Or maybe you're in this situation where you've been ripped apart and, you get criticized, you get ripped apart. Boy, that was a dumb idea. Why would you think that? Boy, a 2-year-old would have done that better. Whatever it is, it could be criticism, belittling, name calling. These are huge issues in relationships that I run into on a daily basis. Okay. Like I said, most of what I deal with are, betrayals of trust. One person cheats, another one cheats, that type of situation. Okay. And I look at what creates someone to want to cheat. Again, not excuse or condoning it, but looking at these situations, and a lot of problems come into criticism, belittling. And do criticism, belittling come from frustration, right? Maybe your partner is not doing what you want them to do, broken expectations, right? However, are those expectations, are they clear? Are they concise? Are they understood? Those are huge aspects. And that's when I advise people to speak from the heart and the soul, right? There's a difference between, hey, hon, I would love if you did this and not this, versus you rotten, you little, I can't believe you did it. You're like a little kid, right? How many people would rather hear the first part versus the latter part, right? And that's where that criticism, belittling come into place in relationships, right? And you start feeling like you're being that little kid and being bashed by a parent. That's not sexy. Let's face it. That's going to create a huge issue in relationships, and you need to be more respectful. And respectful means, speaking from the heart. I want people to be able to talk about what the hell is going on, what you feel. I'm huge on what you feel, and I'm huge on purpose, right? Maybe someone did something that's disrespectful. Why did they do it? Was it because they were feeling hurt? Were they feeling mad? Were they feeling belittled? All these things I'm going to be talking about today. And I want to help people try to correct these. And let's face it, not only correct them, make sure they don't happen again. So, criticism, belittling, name calling, all those things make someone feel, let's face it, not that great. They don't feel loved. Feels like there's a power trip going on, that they're being a chastised kid, being yelled at as superior, right? Like a parent, grandparent, maybe a boss to an employee type thing, which should never happen anyways. Okay. So, again, please join in the comments. I'd love to hear your questions, statements, insights, anything I can do to help you out. And I appreciate you joining me. I'm very humbled, very flattered you're spending your time listening. Let's face it. Okay. And hopefully you can gain some insights and help. That's my passion, is trying to help people. Like I said at the beginning, I might sound funny. My voice is gone. I've been fighting an upper respiratory, bad cold, sinus crap this week. So I've been fighting it. So I apologize if I'm not sounding that clear today. Okay. So besides criticism, belittling, that type of thing, what else creates a lot of frustration in relationships is defensiveness. Okay. How many people are pros at being defensive? It could be like, hey, hon, did you forget to take the trash out? What do you mean? You didn't take it out. You didn't do this, right? You get defensive. Or I was busy. I was doing this, instead of saying, oh, babe, you know what? I forgot. My bad. I apologize. Um, and do you know each trot? You know what? I'm not sure what that is. So you'd have to be more specific, who or what that is. Okay. No, and I appreciate it. So the defensiveness comes in when, you are called out on stuff and we get defensive. We start flipping the script, that type of situation. Okay. And that's what will drive relationships crazy, right? We both do it. And I tell people I'm an equal gender basher. I don't want to bash anybody. I'm not into, bashing, blaming. I want to get away from that and get more into progressive movement and evolution, if you will, towards healing broken hearts, rebuilding trust. And part of that is, let's face it, having compassion and empathy. And let's face it, remorse for what we've done to disrespect our partner or our relationship. Okay. So defensiveness is one thing that tells that other person that you're not remorseful. You don't care what your person is telling you. That is upsetting, right? We get defensive. Is it part of arrogance? Is it part of low self esteem? It could be either one, depending on the individual, right? So we need to be able to, hey, can we hear that truth from that person, from our person? And this could work with even with our kids, coworkers, other family, friends situations. Maybe your friends, boy, you're defensive. How many people have heard that and you blow up, right? And it's like, I prove my point. See, you're defensive. Great example. Instead of looking at, hey, why do you feel this way? Hey, why do you feel I get defensive? What am I doing to show you that? And sometimes it's out of our awareness. Maybe we've been doing something forever and we don't even recognize it. And, I want people to own that stuff and to be able to learn why someone feels a certain way versus getting defensive or trying to flip the script and throw it back on our partner. Like I said, right? Hey, I don't feel loved by you. What do you mean? I do this, I do that, I do da. Or I don't feel loved either. You get me? We get very defensive because we might feel hurt, or like I said, low self-esteem or arrogance. It all depends what's triggering it, that we don't own what we do. Or maybe part of defensiveness is laughing at, oh, you're crazy, right? We start again belittling, criticizing our person or partner for feeling what they feel instead of looking at, hey, I'm not going to get defensive. I want to know why you're not feeling loved, why you're not feeling respected, desired, maybe feeling a priority, why you're feeling maybe neglected, that type of situation. Maybe you're not feeling heard. How many people have been in that situation, right? And that's where those come in to play, where the defensiveness, turn that defensiveness off and turn it into, I call them questions of care and concern. And I talk about them heavily during every episode when I do the show once a week instead of, like I said, I'm doing it 5 days in a row, a marathon of the Art of Relationships show, hopefully to help as many people as possible out there. Okay. So break that defensiveness down, get rid of it, and come to your partner, not at your partner, with questions of care and concern. Hey, why don't you feel loved? Why don't you feel respected? And this does not mean that your feelings can't be heard as well. Not at all. It's taking turns, it's that ebb and flow. But first, you need to direct your attention on your person about why they come to you with a complaint or an issue of not feeling loved, not feeling heard, that type of situation, right? We all screw up, right? We all forget stuff. We all might, oh man, I forgot this. And instead of saying, oh, well, you forgot this, or you do this, you do that, right? And I talked about, relationship maturity yesterday. And this is part of it. Instead of saying, man, my bad, I forgot. I've been busy. I get it. It's no excuse. I'll take care of it. You get me? And then you need to follow through. So defensiveness is trying to key in on how your person feels, how you affected them, and then trying to remedy the situation by showing remorse and taking responsibility and owning what you've done, or let's face it, owning what you've not done if we forget a certain act or what. Oh man, I forgot it. Oh, no problem, babe. I get you. You're busy. I'm busy. That's where that understanding comes in instead of name calling, belittling, like I mentioned at the beginning. And another aspect or facet, like I said, my voice is shot. I've been fighting this upper respiratory crap all week. And I hope everybody is well out there. Marwin, I appreciate it. Hey, peace. Um, so talking about, criticism, belittling, defensiveness, another aspect that comes in, the third out of four things I run into, excuse me, in relationships that cause a lot of deep frustration, resentment, and let's face it, a lot of frustration, okay, is about contempt. And contempt is one of those tricky terms, words, whatever. Contempt usually runs around about that you feel or you act, verbalize that you are better than your partner. Okay. And this is part of it, goes hand in hand with criticism, belittling. When you are talking down to that person, when you feel you are superior than them, I have this degree and I know more and you're this and that. You belittle your partner, right? You think you are superior to them. And let's face it, a lot of people are going to get defensive. And I already talked about ways to combat that. But how many people act that they are better than somebody else because they make so much more money? They have this certain degree over somebody else, right? We all have more knowledge than somebody else in a given area, right? There's people, let's face it, people that have a lot more experience and knowledge in math. I suck at math. Engineering. It could be surgical, medical, maybe fixing a car, right? And because you have that knowledge does not mean you have to belittle that other person. That does not mean you have contempt and you talk down to somebody like you are more superior than them. How many people are guilty of that? And how many people are maybe they're the receiving end of contempt from their partner? And we all know we have a boss that thinks they are better than them. Our parent might think, even as we're an adult, they sort of talk down to us that they are superior and you're a peon. Let's face it. Oh, someone asked to join um, the live feed, and I need to figure that out. I mentioned that yesterday. I need to find out and do a Google search or Instagram search how I can add somebody to the live show video. I'd love to do that. Okay. I'm all about guests. I'm all about, people sharing their stuff if they're not too shy of being live and on camera. Like I said, I do the show live. There's no edits. No, I don't do any post show edits or anything like that. When I trip over my tongue, I own it. I'm real. Okay. This is what you get. So contempt again is going after, belittling a certain person, talking down to them like you are superior. That will piss a lot of people off and create a lot of argument. And you're wondering, well, see, I'm better than you. You acted this way. No, that needs to stop. Okay. Now, if you want to kick up your relationship, I got to give a huge round of applause and thank you to the sponsor of the Art of Relationship show this week. Check out realizedfantasy.com/Greg. Okay. This is a role play situation where you get to use your voice. You and your partner uses a voice. You get to, with Realized Fantasy, they programs you and your partner as the main characters. So you get to be a star, like in your own narration, a star in your movie, theater script, or, audio story type of aspect, right? So by weaving your voices as the leading characters with their professional narration, you're pulled into a new fantasy identity in the unfolding plot. So you don't even have to come up with the plot, the narration. realizedfantasy.com/Greg. They'll give you the script to read and you can have fun with it. You can, it could be more risque and, have fun and more naughty type of stuff, or you can be more playful. They have over 100 programs to pick from, and they're adding dozens every month. Okay. So for only $9.95 a month, under $10 a month, you can join this program, and it's like you role play. What a way to juice up your relationship or your marriage. And you can juice it up, your relationship. You can, banter back and forth and have their own script, and they cover the romantic, maybe foreplay aspect, sexual scripts that you'd like to read to each other about picking each other up in a bar, like I mentioned before, a grocery store, running into each other in a basket. Oh, nice melons. No, those type of situations. Okay. So check them out. And you can go to realizedfantasy.com/Greg to access your free programs. And you get 7 free programs and a 30-day money back guarantee for 30-day free trial. Okay. So check it out. What a way to, spice up your relationship or marriage. It's a great program. I love it, and I'm flattered that they reached out to be a sponsor of the show. So going back to things that are frustrating in a relationship, right? I talked about criticism, belittling, defensiveness, contempt. And let's face it, contempt sort of can throw in belittling, criticism before, or, add that in and integrate it with those aspects. Okay. So you need to be able to look at contempt when you're better than somebody else, or you act you're better than somebody else. What do you know? I'm this, I'm that. And I have people in this field that I don't have a lot of respect for. They'll tell me, well, Greg, I do have my PhD. And I'm like, yeah, and you can still suck. You get me? Because some people might have a certain degree or a certain position. They try to belittle somebody else, and you need to stop that and look at, are you doing that in your relationship? Or if you feel these things, can you speak? Hey, you know what? I feel disrespected. I'd like you to stop. Don't talk down to me. Oh, what do you mean? I'm not talking down. And you get me? That needs to stop. So I'm all about speaking from the heart, like I said at the beginning, and say, hey, you know what? I don't like it. I want you to stop belittling me, name calling me, criticizing me. There's a difference between going to somebody and saying, "Hey, I feel not loved. I don't feel respected by you," versus "You do that, you do this, you do that." You get me? A big difference, and I'm huge at speaking our truth and what we feel, right? Both people in a relationship. We need to do that versus coming at somebody, right? And ripping them apart, belittling, name calling, just chastising them. We need to stop that. Okay. So the fourth element is a term that was formed by the Gottmans, believe it or not. And I don't know if I like the term or not, but it's called stonewalling. Okay. And stonewalling is usually tuning out. Maybe we're all guilty of that. And part of tuning out might mean also providing a silent treatment, right? And I tell people the silent treatment is very disrespectful. It's a form of, I'm not talking to you, right? It's about tuning out, about stonewalling, more or less telling that person, I'm not listening to you. I don't want to listen to you. I could care less what you feel and what you're going through. Doesn't sound romantic, doesn't sound sexy, doesn't sound like you're trying to learn and connect from that person. You're just going poof. You know what? I'm tuning out. How many people, someone's talking to you and they're like, whatever. And if you look at this, how many teenagers are pros at this, talking to their parents, right? When they're getting maybe corrected. I'll use that term. Are you listening to me? Oh, yeah, I'm listening to you. Right. And that needs to stop. So, stonewalling, tuning your partner out, and the silent treatment are also ways of feeling very disrespected in a relationship, and they need to stop. Okay. These things, are you able to pay attention, right? Or if you need a minute, you're overwhelmed with what's going on or the conversation. If it's too deep at times, you have a right to say, "Hey, you know what? I want to hear you more. I just need a break." Okay. Maybe you have to pee, right? Go to the bathroom. Maybe you need a drink of water. Maybe you just need, you know what? I'm overwhelmed right now. I don't want to, get in an argument. I don't want to fight. Please give me a minute. That's okay. But at least you're recognizing to your partner that, number one, you want to hear them. You want to continue to listen, and you're respecting them and respecting yourself, saying you just need a minute. You need a time to take a break. Okay. But then you have to come back and re engage. So, those are some quick avenues to go back and try to help those situations and help your partner feel that you want to hear them and you're not tuning them out or stonewalling or the silent treatment, right? Because nothing will enrage a lot of people more than feeling like they're not heard, they're not listened to, talked over, right? That situation. But with stonewalling, it usually goes more and more or less with tuning them out, the silent treatment that you're not even listening. Okay. So, what can you do to be a better listener, right? What can you do to speak from the heart and soul and not the anger, not the rage, those type of elements? Those are going to be huge aspects that help people heal and connect more with their partner in the relationship. So stop the criticism, the blaming, get rid of the defensiveness, stop the contentment. That means, right, again, that you're talking down to them, that you're so superior to your partner or anybody else. No one's better than anybody else. I'm no better than anybody else either, right? And stop the stonewalling, stop tuning out, more or less is what it means, and stop the silent treatment. So I appreciate everybody joining in. Like I said, I'm going to sign out now. My voice is shot. I've been fighting this cold crap, sinus crap for a week now. So thank you so much. Make sure you like, follow me under Love Guru Greg. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen. I'm very humbled, very flattered by that. Uh, Believe me, I am. I love trying to help people. That's my passion. Has been for over 2 decades now. Okay. So everybody, if you want to check me out, I'm all over social media, YouTube, Love Guru Greg on Facebook. Say hello. Um, The listening platform of the show is under the Art of Relationship Show on, every podcast listening platform as well. Okay. So thank you so much. Check out all my shows, my videos down below. I'm all for insights too, helping me help you more. That's what I love. I love to hear your insights. If you have any topics for the show, want me to talk about, discuss, please hit me up, direct message me, check out my website again, theartofrelationships.org. My email is on there. Anything I can do to help. Okay. I appreciate it. Peace and love to everybody out there. I hope everybody takes care. Okay. Bye bye.